Should be good. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I don't see any audio coming through, so that's interesting. Let me. It's just not saying my audio, but I think I know why. Bam. That should be. Yeah, there's my microphone, and the desktop should be working, but it's not saying it's working. So now I gotta go through. Probably because it's set to. Oh, cancel. Uh, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's since we haven't done this. Is Mr. Steelio Girl? Wish, mate. Uh, Pretty sure it's because we haven't streamed in so long that we have to like change everything. That just totally destroyed everyone's ears. So that's cool. I switched it to my headphones and it was like, yeah, really? Are you sure?
Maybe that'll do it. Oh, there it goes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it should work for me too.
Slobs does this weird thing every once in a while where like it just goes to some generic microphone thing that has never been my microphone.
It's so true. Fucking every time. I
I'm
just look like an idiot.
like I get it. I haven't streamed in a while, but Jesus Christ, man! Like I don't understand why you have to be such a dick to me about it. And it's like, oh yeah, you haven't. Like we're just resetting all your audio shit, and I'm like, please don't. I had it
Stop
set
it,
that way for
please.
a reason.
I swear I know what I'm doing. I promise. I don't judge me.
The first time I had my cam set up, it was like, yeah, I know you have a microphone and it's right in front of you, but we're just going to use the microphone that's built into the camera. And I'm like, please, no.
Let's not. Let's not. Please.
Yeah, we don't need to do any of that. That's outrageous.
It's okay. They just keep you on your toes. That's all it is.
Give me 1 second.
I give you all the seconds. You can has them all. Hey, your chat's not showing. That's old, strange, and curious.
He's just hell bent on doing bad shit. So
I mean, that sounds about right. But he is your puppers.
he is. Come here. Oh, defiant. Come here.
It's no Faja.
Oh, the one I wasn't calling for is coming. With my wife's winter socks.
He's just pulling along.
Pain in my ass. Anyway, how are you today?
I am fantastic. I have not at all thought about punching people in the face in any way, shape, or form. So, that's great.
I don't know that I believe you.
Well, what can I say?
Yeah.
We survived, and that's all that matters. Barely.
That is important.
But we have.
Yeah.
How about yourself, boss man? Yeah,
I'm functioning. I got the day off. It's nice. I actually have tomorrow off, which is also nice.
Got a beard trim.
Same.
Mine's a little bit more noticeable though, from when we.
Well, I mean,
have a neck.
mine was down somewhere here last time, so now, yeah,
True.
things have changed since the last time we recorded one of these.
That's 2 houses ago for me.
Yeah, it was.
That is music.
Mine's the same.
Yeah.
But
Slightly different background.
slightly, not by much. And yeah, we've both lost some beard. I wish I could say I lost some weight. You
We
have.
both have not lost any hair.
Nah, yeah, I haven't lost any hair, which really at this point, if I could lose more, I would.
Fucking annoying to shave.
That's what I mean. Like, if I have to keep up with it. Now, I did find a good, like, electric razor for when I'm like on the go and I really need to just kind of do one real quick.
Ooh.
So that was good, but
Saves a little bit of a struggle. Not much, but a little bit, which always matters.
yes. But anything that makes my life easier is great.
Oh my god, yeah. Now, if only we had some things that would just make us a bunch of money. Oh my gosh, it's the puppers! They're awake. The children have awakened. They know what's happening.
As you can see, my blinds got all fucked up due to this one right here.
Why would you ever blame the puppers?
Because he's the reason they're fucked up.
It's not Jack's
I don't know
fault.
if you can tell, the gate is in front of the couch because he gets into the window and fucks up all the blinds. It's a good time.
Exactly. It is a good time, and that's what matters most.
Yes. It's entertaining, if nothing else.
True. Keeps you honest. Keeps the puppers. I mean, come on. Without the puppers ruining and destroying everything, you wouldn't be able to buy new stuff. You gotta have. That's what it is. That's
yeah.
boosting the economy.
I think my wife would like to stop buying new blinds for every time he rips them out of the window and then breaks them. As you can see, they're all bent out of shape now. So, I don't know how many she's bought over the last year. I don't want to count because I think it would just make me upset because I'm sure it makes her upset. So fucking A.
I don't blame anybody for that one.
Nah.
Hi, Sweater. How is you? We're just going to talk about sports ball and all the balls and probably puppers. Probably lots of puppers.
Talking about balls, yes.
Balls
Indeed.
I don't blame you for being tired. It's a Tuesday and it fucking felt like a Monday.
Not for me. I was off, so.
Yeah. Lucky you. No. I mean, I did get off yesterday by just going, yeah, a little sick.
I didn't have any fun, exciting things to celebrate, so.
What do you mean? You had a player that was on the team win a Super Bowl. It's a great thing.
What's funny is, yeah. What's funny is I was gonna buy a Saquon Giants jersey, and I'm glad I didn't.
Honestly, you should have. He was still a great player, Saquon.
Right. No, like I understand what you're saying, but I'm still happy I didn't because then it's in vain.
Well, you could fucking probably get them fucking cheap as shit. You could. You probably find them for like $40 online.
I doubt it. I bet you they're still like a fucking $120 or whatever they're going for.
You should have bought his Penn State jersey.
There you go. See, I would do that.
We appreciate him. Man which ironically did not have the greatest Super Bowl ever, but hey, I love him. I appreciate him, and I'm very happy. He still changed that game. And hey, don't worry. We're going to talk about the Giants because They actually are one of the stats that align with the Eagles too in their 07 season.
Yeah, we can talk about. I'm gonna feel like a Cowboys fan. We're gonna be living in the past slightly for a few minutes.
At least yours fucking Super Bowl DVD.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there. Where's the VHS player? I gotta watch Troy Aikman.
Yeah, most Cowboys fans weren't even alive the last time they like won.
It's
my favorite part. It's pretty great.
That's the best thing. They just. No, and if I remember right, this is also there's only been 5 Super Bowls ever without a PSU player on a team. So hey, represent Penn State.
Yeah.
Now, if only a PSU quarterback ever fucking mattered. Penn State has no quarterbacks anyone cares about. Hey, we'll be talking about the draft too, and Abdul Carter is going to be drafted. We're going to see where he goes. He could end up. Mick Sorley is
where?
I mean,
where did he do good?
He did. I mean, in like college, but like I'm trying to think of the last time that a Penn State quarterback actually did anything in the NFL. I'm trying to remember. Last one I can remember is the one from Scranton. Can't remember his name. He had that like one good half season for
Matt McGloin.
There you go. Thank you. I couldn't remember his fucking name. He was the last one I remember that anyone cared about other than Kerry Collins. That was 94 when he was in Penn State. He did okay. All right. I'm not saying they're like awesome. Gesicki's a great tight end to think about. Penn State just needs a lot better player. Crap. What's the tight end for them too? He'll be going in the first round this year, most likely. I can't remember his name. Again, anyway, we'll talk about that. Penn State is going to represent this draft. Thank God. But yeah, we can talk about the Super Bowl, which was the most watched Super Bowl to date, which is amazing with 126 million people average and 137.7 peak. Yeah, I can't remember his name. I'll remember it later. So, ironically, a Super Bowl a lot of people complained about, like, I don't think a lot of people are going to watch it. Complete opposite. Most people watched it. And Eagles won. And it's the second time they stopped a three-peat. They stopped the Patriots when they won in 16, lost to the Eagles. And then the Patriots won again in 18. So it was pseudo stopped a three-peat. And then they stopped the three-peat this time. I think you're right. I think it is Tyler Warren. And they did it with my favorite kind of players. They built it in the trenches. They are actually one of only 6 teams to get pressures in the entire game to like get most of those sacks without ever blitzing. The last team to do that was Knicks, the 07 Giants.
What a team.
Hey, that team was disgusting between Mr. I can fit an 18-wheeler down my my tooth gap and OCU Manura, and that's a fucking great ass team. Who else was on that line? Strahan, Ura. Oh, what's his name? JPP wasn't on that team.
No,
he didn't get drafted.
JPP
like 14.
and Tuck was the other Super Bowl.
Oh, okay, that was 11. I'm trying to remember who else. Either way, amazing offensive or defensive line, a decent offensive line to give Eli time because,
except for the miracle play, that line broke down and he made everything he could.
Yeah, if Patrick would have been able to do that,
he usually can. But honestly it resembled the Super Bowl they lost against the Buccaneers, where they were just getting pressured. Like the line broke down every play. He didn't have more than 2 seconds, maybe 3 to like get anything going. I mean, he had a little bit happy feet. I think he was moving maybe more than he should have. Kind of screwed himself a little bit, but
never seem to check the ball down, and I think that's my problem with it. Like, you're pressured on almost half of your dropbacks. You got someone in your face, someone somewhere. How many checkdowns was there to either Kareem Hunt or even like Travis Kelce was targeted, I think, in the entire game 5 times? Like,
yeah, he didn't
get
have
it.
a. I mean, the good thing about the good thing about him not having a fantastic game was the lack of Taylor Swift on my screen, and I don't mean that as a dig at Taylor Swift. I'm sure she's a nice.
You got booed.
Yeah, certain demographic
hilarious.
tried to claim the reason for that, but I'm pretty sure it was just the Eagles fans outweighed the Chiefs fans at the Super Bowl.
I think it's also people just getting pissed. Like, God damn it!
That too. I mean, it did make me laugh that she became that meme.
Literally did.
It was pretty great.
The fucking
I did enjoy that very much.
My favorite. It's my favorite. I loved it. Made me so happy.
Yeah, I mean, he just wasn't himself. They weren't themselves. Their defense played fairly well, at least in the beginning.
Well,
they stopped the run quite well until Jalen started running.
He set the record for the second time the most rushing yards by a QB in a Super Bowl. So
right,
it's just crazy to think about that you said it and then you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna go 2 yards above that literally the next time you're there. But all right, hey, cool.
Listen, I think whatever works.
That's true. I mean, they did a great job, and I think part of the reason the Eagles were still able to do good and Jalen was able to break off and they had so many of these rushes was because they still kept forcing the ball to Saquon and allowing him that, like, yeah, I get it. You know, you gave it to him 25 times. He ended up with 64 yards, if I remember right.
Something.
But you still made them respect it. You still actually handed the ball off. You still tried it and kept them honest instead of going, ah, shit, this isn't working. Well, let's go do something else. Because then that opened up the passing lanes on the outside since they got to sell out in the middle to stop Saquon. So it stopped them from, you know, being able to rotate out to stop A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith or obviously Jahan Dotson or Dallas Goedert on the post. Like, that I think is the biggest thing that Kellen Moore did, who is now, if I remember it officially, the Saints' new head coach, which is kind of depressing because, I mean, obviously it's sad loss for the Eagles, but that man could have been a Cowboys head coach, and they went with some dude named Schottenheimer.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
I mean, listen, anything that hurts anything that hurts either team, to be honest, is A-okay with me. So,
I mean, we could talk about it now if you'd like. I do think the Giants have a good possibility of actually doing well this year, because like I believe in Brian Daboll. I do think he's a good coach, and
I do too. I just don't think that they're there. I don't think that. Well, they need a quarterback. They need a running back. They need.
I disagree. I think they actually have a great running back.
Well, we'll see.
Tracy, he was doing great, and I think they got a wide receiver, Neighbors. That's 2 great young skill positions to build around.
I like Neighbors a bunch.
Hi, puppies. You know what? I don't see any blinds broken yet, so we're doing good.
Well, the gate's stopping it.
I think he can get over that gate. He really wanted to.
Oh, he can. If he goes to the other couch that's like over there, he very much gets in. He hops over the gate. Hey!
Someone walks by. How dare they? This is my sidewalk.
That's half of the time that's what it is. Or like it's a car door, or it's like something. You know what I mean? Like it's just something.
A squirrel. Fuck him.
Yeah, and I believe I'm a great match for Haley Steinfeld, but yeah, you don't see me trying to be the next Spider-Man. Well, I mean, that Spider-Man didn't get with Haley Steinfeld, so that's there. There's that.
Interesting.
Uh,
Bringing up bad news like that. How dare you?
if only you were a Bills quarterback, and then you'd have a shot. But
Not at a Super Bowl. That's the only thing you don't get a shot at.
wow. Honestly, since my team was out, that's who I was pulling for.
Because like New York.
Well, I mean, a team that hasn't won, and yeah, they're technically the only team that actually plays in New York. So since the two New York teams are in Jersey,
Or Jersey, yeah.
hey, get out of there! I saw you. It's gonna be half of the stream. I was hoping the stadium would implode like the Batman movie. Yeah. Where was Bane when you needed him?
Don't do this to me. I cried.
Well,
man.
at least
most of my life.
At least he could have waited until like after the halftime show, and then we would have been fine. But I know.
Can you imagine not like us that happening at that moment? That'd be hilarious.
Yeah,
he says that.
It would have been Drake instead of Bane.
That's the way we make the halftime show the best ever. That's what we needed. God damn it.
Yeah. Drake wearing the Bane mask. You need that like Hines Ward moment of them just like running through the explosion and trying to like beat the collapse.
You liked kids. You thought just oh god, oh no.
And I'll go on record and say I wasn't 83 years old, so I enjoyed the halftime show. I understood the words that were coming out of his mouth, so I enjoyed it. the biggest blowback is I didn't understand a word he said. I'm like, okay.
I don't know if you care less about that. No, it's even whatever. Rap is its own thing, and there's a lot of rap I do like. I just. Other than Not Like Us, I'm not a huge fan of Kendrick. He's got some great songs. It's just like I'm not. I was more like a 50 Cent kind of person, if anything.
Sure,
So
I mean,
that one 2 or 3 years ago.
He didn't play a lot of his like bigger stuff, but it was more about what he was trying to do for the halftime show. So it was like,
do you boo boo?
But
if we're like, hey, it's one of the best. I've seen people going from like, it's one of the best ever, and I'm like, I don't know about that. I know a lot of people liked it. If you feel that way, go for it.
Kendrick to me is this generation's Ice Cube. Yeah, see, I could understand that. Sometimes it's not about making the biggest record; it's about sending the message you want to send. And I think the symbolism was there for a couple of different things, and I do.
They might be coming after that man with the Gaza flag, though. That's crazy.
Well, they're not pressing charges.
It wasn't Kendrick. Well, no, but someone said that. Well, not pressing charges, but he still could get I think something. If I remember right, like Israel said they were trying to do some shit, which I don't even know what the fuck you're gonna do. You're not in your country, you can't do shit. But it was just like one of the things, like Kendrick's doing all of these things, and the one random dude that's a dancer does that. And he's like, damn it, guys.
Serena Williams crip walking was not on my bingo card. Yeah, no. But I enjoyed the fuck out of that. It took me I had to double take that because I was like looking at it and I went, that looks like Serena Williams, and then I went, oh. Fuck, that's Serena Williams.
Like that went over my head. I didn't realize that she dated Drake at one point. So then when someone was explaining to him, I'm like,
yeah, it was like a weird.
That explains why she was there. I just thought she was there because like, hey, she's a fan or something. I was like, all right.
Well, there was like during their whole back and forth, like her name came up and like her husband's name came up and like it was a weird thing. And then like, yeah, it was. So the history behind it, like if she was gorgeous, yeah. I mean, she's always been, but yeah, she's fantastic. But yeah, so like if you knew the history behind it, you're like, oh, okay, yep, that makes a ton of sense. Like I totally understand why that's the way that is. And then what did this do something different? I'm just curious. Give me a second.
Did you break it?
Maybe.
Oh my god, chat, he broke it. Everybody's breaking everything.
No, actually, I think if I fuck with it now, it's gonna fuck up more. I'm not touching anything. I don't want to break anything because I will, and that's what I do. So
That's true.
stop touching stuff. Yeah, I mean, congrats to Philly for winning. My favorite thing about Philly winning anything is that the city of Philadelphia gets cleansed a little each time. Um, sometimes you got to break it down to rebuild, that kind of thing. And hopefully they can burn that entire city to the ground and rebuild it into a brand new town that isn't full of the people that live there. And then
That's so fucking rude. Yeah, I went to the one in 2018. That one was crazy because like I've never seen so many people just happy.
Is that what the word is in Philadelphia? It's happy? That's how they celebrate happy?
I mean, I got hugged so many times. Everyone was giving me free alcohol. Like, that was great. That was awesome. Like, yeah, obviously people do stupid shit. There's always going to be that person that does something stupid, flips a car or whatever. But, like, most of the people there, especially, like, during Jason Kelsey's speech and shit, everyone was just like, God, this is what it feels like to win a Super Bowl? Oh, my God. Like, I just want to hug someone. Like, dude, we did it. Like,
it was their first ever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I know not all of us can be like the Giants who had, one of the best defensive players ever and then just pulls out some random shit to win against the Patriots twice. Like, whatever.
Nice. Two on both occasions when they won against the Patriots, he pulled some shit right out of his ass and then and still got snubbed at the fucking Hall of Fame.
Oh, he's still got many years to possibly go in.
He
does. Obviously look at Sterling Sharp.
Yeah, I mean,
we've had this discussion.
There are people that
perfect borderline quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, if you take into account like regular season stuff, but I think the postseason stuff has to be considered, and I don't think they consider that enough. Especially the levity of it, like you took down a perfect team to win the Super Bowl, and then. Which year was it 07 was the perfect year, or was it 12 was the perfect year?
It was 11. That was the perfect year.
Yeah.
Or the Super Bowl was in 2012, but it was the 2011 season.
Yeah. So so they took down a perfect team, and I mean they took down a juggernaut of a team twice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which, I mean, you could even argue at this point the two Eagles wins in the last bunch of, this past Sunday years. And then 2018. You could argue the same thing. I mean, Brady was towards the end of his career at that point. I mean, he still played.
He still won 2 Super Bowls after that. I don't know. It was the end of his career.
They weren't the same Patriots they were. They weren't perfect team Patriots. They weren't, that. But they still were the Patriots. And then, the Chiefs are this past, this generation's Patriots in the sense of juggernaut of a team. Now, I do think lots of questionable calls, so I can understand why people were rooting against the Chiefs. I rooted against the Chiefs 2 weeks ago when they were playing the Bills, and there were some ball spotting things and some questionable calls, and I don't think it was this year. I think it was the year before. I can't remember. When they were playing the Jets, and I remember I was watching that game because I was like, oh my God, the Jets are about to beat the Chiefs. Like, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. And there was like a pass interference or a holding call against the Jets, and then like a non-call on the Chiefs to like set up perfectly, if you will, them fucking getting creamed. I was like, dude. Everybody making the ref jokes is warranted. It's warranted. And I was curious to see how they were going to do that. And then the first drive, they had like a semi-questionable offensive pass interference call.
Oh, that was so ticky-tacky at the
It was like, I could understand maybe, but like you're saying 9 times out of 10, that's not getting called. Like, realistically, that's probably not getting called.
So say the next drive they did the same thing on the Eagles and brought back gave the Chiefs a first down or whatever. Or no, it prevented a sack. It was holding, or was it hands to the face? And it was like, All right, that's kind of bullshit, but it evened out a bit, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah, it was nonsense, but so moving
I think the refs affect way too many games.
Yes, I agree, and I think it's the same thing we could say about the NBA, how like the refs are making it, and the MLB for that matter. It's gotten a little bit better since.
Never mind, we don't need refs.
Since it's gotten a little bit better since Angel Hernandez is retired from MLB umpiring, but like the refs are making it more about themselves. These like the last bunch of years, the amount of technical fouls in the NBA is kind of absurd. The unsportsmanlike conduct flags in the NFL are kind of ridiculous. MLB's not quite as like take over a whole game unless again it's Angel Hernandez calling balls and strikes, and of course unless you're that umpire who just got fired.
Yeah,
fucking betting on.
I swear, some of them they can't see for shit.
No, and that dude called a perfect game in the World Series, and so like, I sit here as a baseball fan and go, "Fuck it, let him like bet on game. I don't give a shit so long as it's not game." Same thing with Pete Rose. If you're not betting on the team that like, if you're not betting on the game you're playing in, I don't give a fuck. I don't. Now, if he's betting on games he's calling, that's a different thing. What was that? What was that NBA ref's name?
Like
the early 2000s. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, the one that fucking smoked a bunch of games.
Yeah, because he was like playing the odds or whatever. He was betting on the games and he was fucking.
2007, Tim Donaghy.
Donaghy, yep, that was it. I was gonna say Donahue, but yeah.
Fucking scum. And now like people are starting to come back and be like, well, how much did he actually do?
Fuck off.
Is it? Nah, fuck it. Off. Get out. No, dude, like
perfect analogy.
He didn't, and it's not even like he did anything.
See, I like that analogy. If congressmen can have stocks in companies they affect, Pete Rose can bet on games. Yes.
Except, yeah. I mean 100%. Fuck that shit.
I still think Pete Rose should be able to bet on games he's not playing in, and congressmen shouldn't be able to fucking take money from companies that they're. Well, but that's a whole nother argument for another time.
Yeah, I'm gonna start taking my investment advice from fucking Nancy Pelosi. She's up. I think it was like last year, like 310%. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, you gotta get with these people who are in the know, because like, I gotta know. Like it's it's crazy.
One day.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
When you run for presidency, Nick, we got this.
All right,
I'll be your VP.
I mean, I'm of age. I can do it. I can
be VP. I'm of age enough for VP. I can do that. It'd be great. We'll just call everyone assholes.
Well, yeah. I mean, fuck it.
The worst part is it'll probably work.
I mean, yeah, just just say whatever you want. Nobody ever really fact checks you, and if they do, you don't care. Like, okay.
Hey,
you don't have to believe me, so long as somebody votes for me. Like, hey, no matter what happens, man, my heart goes out to all of you.
Except that dude named Steve in the back. Fuck that dude. But everyone else I love.
Yeah, and to signify how my heart goes out to you, I'm going to go on Kanye's website and buy that shirt he just launched. Dope shirt.
I haven't seen anything. I just saw Kanye did something else and went, I'm not going to pay attention because he's stupid.
He is stupid. He's very stupid.
I truly think that man, like, something happened. He has so much PTSD from everything else that happened. I think it's just like, and he's not getting help, and it's just...
Well, he doesn't want help, and you can't help those that don't want help.
True.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm on Twitter a bunch for the other podcast with my my good friend Onyx here for our Cream of the Crop podcast. Since I'm on Twitter a lot for like wrestling stuff, even when you don't follow people pop up. I see way more Elon tweets than I ever wanted to. even though he sends the same like 5 tweets every couple of days. And then Kanye all of a sudden was blowing up my Twitter feed, and I'm just like, why are we here? I don't need to be here for this. This is ridiculous.
I know some people didn't talk about, their political beliefs in every fucking 3 sentences. I miss those days. Can we go back? Can we just be like a people? Can we just be people again?
Right.
No, okay.
So it's funny, I said this on the other podcast. Remember when you had an opinion and you kept it to yourself? Like, that was such a good time in life and society. Like, not every opinion had to be voiced. Like, look at all this shit with the Super Bowl and all the people bitching. And it's like, I want to have a bunch of people are calling for, what's his name? Morgan Wallen, the country guy. And I'm like, the dude with a bunch of like DUIs and like drunk in public and like saying the N-word on like a show or something. Like, that's the guy you want to perform at the Super Bowl? Like, you couldn't have picked like a better representation of your shitty music? Like, you couldn't have. Oh, I'm sorry.
Hold on. I like country. Yeah, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, no, listen, I get it.
Fuck.
I have daydreams about fucking my cousins too. No, I mean, hey, whatever. It is what it is. But
you just out here selling like Oxy or something since you like rap? Like, that is such a horrible generalization. I take offense, but no, it's whatever. My big problem is like, dude, like, I even saw an article like, is the Eagles the best like DEI representation team because they have a white cornerback and shit? I'm like, why are we talking about it? Why can't we just be like, yo, this is a great team. That's an awesome team. That team, great. And you might want to make the joke like, yeah, okay, it was the first white cornerback to have an interception in the Super Bowl in I think 24 years or whatever. And like, that's kind of cool. But like, let's not.
No, we had to make everything about everything it didn't need to be about. And then,
like,
it's just more dumb shit we don't.
And then everyone was super happy that the Eagles won because, like, apparently everyone on the Chiefs is a massive Trump supporter, even though, like, there's Taylor Swift and everything. And I'm like, that's not exactly true. Like, that's just a super generalization. That's kind of rude as shit. And I'm like, there's probably people that support Trump on the Eagles and probably hate him too. Like, that we're people. You can have opinions. Let's not make that. I'm supposed to be sitting here watching the touchdowns or the interceptions, not trying to figure out if there's an R or a D somewhere. I don't give a fuck.
And I
want to watch my Eagles.
I'm gonna say this for the umpteenth time, if I've ever said it in a public forum of any kind.
Canceled.
Who you vote for in elections does not define who you are as a human being. And if that's what you think, and you define other people by who they vote for in elections, you're just as much of a piece of shit as you think that person is. I don't care. I don't care who you vote for. I don't care. I mean, listen, if there are things about you that like drive you to vote a certain way, and then like that defines who you are, that's a little different of a situation, right? Like, not every person who votes for this person is a terrible person, and everybody who votes for this person is great, and vice versa, right? Like, there are people who vote this way that are great people, and people who are shitty people. There are people who vote this way that are fine people, and I can't say very fine people.
Yeah, man, shit canceled.
I judge you based on what Pokemon you pick. Yeah, see, there you go. Like, that's
I accept that one.
That's fair.
The only right answer is Charizard, though, so I'm Charmander.
So, as somebody who really only is semi-familiar with the first generation, yes. Because I never really got into Pokemon. The most Pokemon experience I have is with Pokemon Go with you. Like, that's that's the most. Big Man Blastoise. See, I mean, that's a dope Pokemon though. Like, I don't judge. That's cool. Like, now if you're like weird and what's the
Venusaur? The Onion?
I mean, Venusaur's all right. He's okay. He's all right. I'm cool with Blastoise and Charizard though.
As long as your favorite Pokemon isn't 3 floor shits, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that's Big D.
Right. Yeah, I don't care about any of that stuff. Like, I can't get behind the thought process of like, you're all bad for this reason, and everybody here's good, and everybody here's bad, and everybody here's good. And Like, I support this person no matter what they do, and everything this person does is terrible, and blah, blah, blah. It's all stupid. You're all stupid for thinking that way. Like, not everybody's
When it
right
comes
all
to
the
sports,
time.
we
Like,
can
you
do that.
can't. Yeah, right. Like, and even then you go, ugh, fuck. Like,
Yeah. But like, look at how many people hated Sirianni, and then now we love him. But give it a minute, we'll hate him. Unlike when it comes to politics, where it's like, oh, this person did something bad. Well,
yeah.
eh.
Did he,
It's
though?
okay.
And then it's like, okay, but they did do something bad. Oh, yeah, but I don't care. And it's like, oh, well, so then shut up. Just shut up. Shut up. Whereas, yeah, Sirianni could, like, make a boneheaded call in a big game, and they'll be like, this is the worst fucking, we need to fire this guy. And it's like, what the fuck, man? Oh, God. That's, so, again, I mean, you know,
my favorite.
you're a Yankees fan. So, I mean, how long is, what's his name? Oh, fuck. Oh, my God, what's his name? The manager.
Coach?
The manager, Aaron Boone. How long has Aaron Boone had to have been getting fired now? Like, it's been fucking
he's been there for
forever.
8 years, if I remember right. 9 years, one of the two. So pretty much his entire time.
I think he's been there longer than that.
I think it's only one of those two, because if I remember right, he had the same winning percentage or better winning percentage than God damn it, what's his name? He was there early 2000s, won the World Series. What was his name?
Girardi.
Thank you.
Oh, early 2000s was Joe Torre.
Oh, Joe Torre. There we go.
And then
God, we had Joe to Joe. Fuck off.
Yeah, so it was Joe Torre, then Joe Girardi, who they won their last World Series with. And then Aaron Boone. I don't remember how long. I can't remember when Girardi left. Because then he went to Miami for like a season or two.
Yeah,
and then Philly, and then got booted out of Philly, I think the year they won.
I think you're right. 7 seasons. He was there since 2018 is when Aaron Boone was there.
Oh, why did I feel like it was longer? I think it feels longer because they've been trying to fire him after 2018. Like, ever since 2018, they've wanted to fire him.
That, and also at the same time, like, it's the Yankees. It's the fact that they haven't won an X amount of time immediately means that everything feels like forever.
I'm a Mets fan who was born in 87. Their last World Series was 86. The last World Series they won, rather, was 86.
I was going to say,
I don't want to hear it. I'm old enough to have been there for all of the fucking 90s and early 2000s World Series wins. Like, I was awake, I was alive, I was coherent. I know you were, what were you, like 2 when they won in 96?
Yes.
Yeah. I was 9. Like, and I was happy for them at the time because, like, they hadn't won in a long time, yada yada. And this was before my spirit was broken by Yankees fans because I hate you people, like all of you, all of you. Like
every team I like, you somehow hate.
Yeah.
Thunder.
Yeah.
Or the Pistons, because I kind of just like both since they're both like my team.
I don't hate the Thunder, but I hate the Eagles. Now, I hate the Eagles less than I hate the Cowboys. If the Eagles and Cowboys are playing, I root for the Eagles every time. Unless there's, like, you know, a playoff thing and, like, my team has a shot at, you know, whatever. That's different. That almost never happens, but that's slightly different.
It used to way back in the day.
Yeah, we them femboys. But no, so here's the thing that's funny, right? And I had this conversation with John, who I don't think fully understood. There's a difference in perspective that opened up for me. So again, I grew up in the 90s watching the Yankees win 96, 98, 99, 2000 against my Mets. Get to the World Series in Game 7 in 2001. Basically have that one, but lost it. 2003, they were in the World Series. And, like, hadn't had a losing season since, like, 1991 or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Right? And then I grew up in New York. So there were no like Phillies fans, you know what I mean? There were no fucking like, random team. I'm a Pirates fan or I'm a Braves fan. Like there was none of that. You were either a Mets fan or you were a Yankees fan. It's not like with football where like, most people are just a fan of a team that, like I'm a Giants fan, but whatever. You're an Eagles fan, like, so we are that closest team to us fan.
Yeah.
But like I know people who are Saints fans who've never been to New Orleans. You know what I mean? Like shit like that.
Like Cowboys fans, how they're up here, and it's like, oh yeah, no,
How they're
like,
it's the same. Well, it's
what?
the same thing with Yankees fans, right? So you have those like bandwagon fans of like, oh, I love the Yankees, they win all the time, or like random Lakers fans, or you know what I mean, like shit like that, and you're like, okay, like you're a bandwagon fan, it is what it is. But like I grew up around that rivalry of the little brother. Oh, you're a Mets fan, like 27 rings, bitch. All that bullshit. I grew up in that. So like when the playoffs were happening, and I was talking to John because John's another Yankees fan, and he's like, I'm rooting for the Mets, and I was like, good for you, dude. I'm not rooting for the Yankees. And then when the World Series came, I went, I'm so torn because I have to either root for the team that just eliminated my team or a team that I just disdain so much because of their fans, because I had to deal with that for so long. Whereas he grew up out here in PA and like didn't have that same level of like, argument with Mets fans and Yankees fans and all the bullshit. And, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with the little brother bullshit. Oh, the Yankees, we got 27 rings. Oh, my entire team sucks. METS, blah, 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 blah. Like, fuck off, dude. I hope you lose everything all the time. My two favorite teams in the world are the Mets and whoever the fucking Yankees are playing. Like, that's how it works for me. Because of their fans. These entitled fucking fans. Now, I know you're a Yankees fan. So I'm not dumping on you specifically, because we can have conversations and not have that kind of conversation. But the amount of conversations I've had that have been like that makes me fucking just... I can't in good faith root for them, even though I'm going to have nice things to say about them in a couple of minutes when we talk about the MLB offseason. I am going to say nice things because I'm not a monster. Like, I'm not going to just, like, dump on them the whole time. But yeah, no, it's a funny perspective for me. Like, I guarantee you, people who grew up in New York were not rooting for the Mets against the Dodgers. Like, people who have been in that rivalry argument for the last however long were not going, yeah, I hope we get to the World Series with the Mets. Like, that would be great. First of all, I'm going to be a dick for a second. I don't care. The real World Series was the NLCS, because whoever won that was beating the Yankees in the World Series. That's just how that was going. We can debate that if you want, but
I think the Yanks had a better shot against the Mets than they did the Dodgers.
Yeah, but not by much.
So,
they might have won another game. I think they were still losing in 6, maybe, but they were still losing.
I think it could have went to 7, and I think it would have came more like a coin flip. I do think the Mets would have won, but like, I don't know.
The Yankees weren't playing well for most of the season. They weren't even playing well in the postseason in terms of like simple shit.
Acceptable. I agreed. I mean, fuck, we had
Lots
no
of
closer
like
for half the season.
Yeah, and so again, it's not haha Yankees bad. It's just fundamentals weren't there. Base running wasn't there. They were living and dying by home runs, and then when those home runs weren't happening, I mean, Judge having just the worst postseason that you could have is not. Now, had he been hot, like how Stanton was randomly hot, even though like he couldn't translate that into a full season for whatever reason, like he used to. If Judge was hot in the playoffs, that's a different question. That's a whole different scenario. Then you go, oh, okay, the Yankees can do something here because they have somebody other than Juan Soto and fucking Giancarlo Stanton doing something.
Agreed. We also had some decent pitching going in. Starting pitching, not again close. Well, bullpen. No, Clay Holmes toward the end was doing good.
Yeah, but your bullpen was rough.
Which is weird. Clay Holmes, who was our best reliever, and put him into the closer spot.
Yeah,
because Aroldis Chapman.
Ass. Well, he wasn't on the team this year. Who did they have?
Oh no, it was fucking I can't remember. You're right. Fuck. Chapman was 2 years ago. Fuck. God damn it. I'm gonna Google it.
Wasn't Michael King, because that's who they traded to San Diego for Soto. Clay Holmes was
who we put there
closing.
Luke Weaver.
Luke Weaver was pretty solid at times. So
was it Clay Holmes and we replaced him with Luke Weaver? Am I whip-whopping him?
Maybe.
Am I being an idiot?
It was Clay Holmes and you replaced him with yes. That is
okay.
correct.
So I switched him around. My bad. Either way.
Yeah, Holmes was a little rocky, and which is weird because he was solid last year. He was your best reliever last year, and then this past year he got a little. But I mean, the same thing happened with us with Edwin Diaz because he missed all of last year with that fucking ankle or whatever injury, knee injury, and came back and just didn't look solid, which I think also kind of fucked us a little bit. He looked a lot better in the playoffs, but he still had some moments where it was a little rough. I mean, I joke because I'm like, man, this season, this sports season for me has been rough because like the Giants have been ass all year. I mean, they lost 11 in a row. Like that's fucking.
At least they paid $40 million to Danny Dimes.
Oh my god! So yeah, we lost Saquon for a guy we don't even have on our fucking team anymore.
Dude, that's so bad. And it's crazy, though. The Giants keep drafting good players. Like, they keep winning them. Again, not only Neighbors and Tracy. They also had Xavier McKinney, who's gone, though. And it's just like the list goes on and on. Sterling Shepard was doing great down in, was it Tampa he went to?
Yeah, like, why did we get rid of all of these people that have been good to us and have been good for us? Now, they still have, like, Thibodeau. And I think he was hurt, but, like, Andrew Thomas on the O-line, Dexter Lawrence, like, they still have solid-ish people. But, yeah, what didn't they draft McKinney, like, 2 years ago?
I think it was, like...
3 maybe
4. I think it was like he was on like the last year of his rookie contract, so it was either 3 or 4.
Yeah, and it's like, so he's already gone. You let Saquon go, and then you could have had who's the kid in Washington, the quarterback,
Jane Daniels.
Yeah, you could have had Jane Daniels. They fucking interviewed him and liked what they saw, and then went nah. Now, I'm still happy they got Neighbors, but still, dude, like, you could have...
Daniels went second, so I think, because the Giants didn't have the second overall pick, did they?
They had the 6th pick.
I think there was a talk of them being able to move up, but I don't think they were going to be able to get up to 2. Because it was Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels, and then who fucking went third?
I don't remember. I'd have to look at it.
So long ago. Either way,
but like again, so you made a decision to pay the fuck out of Daniel Jones, and here's the thing: conversations you and I have had offline. I had defended Daniel Jones to a degree because I think 2 years ago he looked really solid, and I went, "Oh, he's starting to put it together." And I think having Dayball there really helped him a ton because that's the same guy who was the head coach under Josh Allen. And Daniel Jones, similar build, similar play style, a guy who can run. a guy who can throw. Like his arm was a lot better than people gave him credit for. He had a really good like run speed that wasn't
It looked like
utilized.
he led the league in speed.
Yeah,
And like in a run.
and
And then fell.
it's well, but like I defended him because it was like, listen, he got thrown into shit situations, and then he had a shit line, and then like there are a lot of reasons. Look, I mean, just look at the Super Bowl. If your line isn't as strong as it could have been, these are the things that happen. There's no time to make decisions. I joke all the time that Dallas, who has a really good O line, has been wasted on quarterbacks that are not fantastic, and just play calling that's not fantastic. I would have loved to have had Dallas's O line for the last however many years now. I think Daniel Jones with Dallas's O line, like that strong of an O line with that much protection, I think could have been much better. Now, part of that is the line is solid, right? Like it's a solid fucking O line who's not allowing a ton of sacks, who's keeping him in the pocket long enough to be able to make decisions. Do I think Daniel Jones is a top tier quarterback? No, I don't. And I'm not saying that now because he's gone. I just don't think he was a top tier. I think he could have been, but he just never got there. I still don't think they ever should have drafted him in the first round. That's I mean the person they wanted the Giants to draft over him, I don't think was ideal, and I can't remember the guy's name.
Was it Zach Wilson?
No.
It was Sam Darnold. Was that the draft?
No, it was what the fuck was the kid's name that went to Washington?
Fuck.
Did he die?
Like
Am I thinking of somebody
2019.
else?
God damn, he was Dwayne Haskins?
Yes.
Okay.
And like that, so, I didn't think that was a good fit, and then obviously that didn't amount to anything for Washington either, to be fair.
He went after, holy shit, this draft was for quarterbacks.
Yeah.
He had fucking Dwayne Haskins, Drew Lock, Will Greer, Ryan Finley, Jarrett Stidham, Easton Stick, Clayton Thorson, Gardner Minshew, and Trace McSorley. I mean, Minshew Mania, so obviously they should have picked him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They should have picked porn star Minshew, baby. Let's go. But, yeah, no, like, I mean, they could have drafted. Well, because then who else was on the board at that time? Like, even just position, like, whether it's linebacker. I think there was a linebacker I wanted.
Who was the second quarterback? The first one was Kyler Murray.
Right. Who was drafted after in just other positions? Like a big name. And you're like, oh, they should have got him, and then they could have got fucking Daniel Jones in like the second or third round, because that dude wasn't on anybody's radar.
Pull up the list. Here we go. Wiki. That'll be easier to pull it up that way.
Yeah, I could.
Kyler Murray, Nick Bosa, Quinion Williams, Devin White, Clinton Farrell, Danny Jones went number 6.
Yeah.
Josh Hines, T.J. Hawkinson. That's a great tight end. Devin Bush isn't a bad linebacker. Ed Oliver, Jonah Williams, Rashawn Gray, Brian Burns is a good defensive end. They did get D-Law, so that was a good one at least to pick him up.
Yep.
Jeffrey Simmons is a pretty good defensive tackle. Josh Jacobs would have been a great running back to have through those years.
But we had Saquon, so that didn't.
Which Saquon was the next year.
No, Saquon was the year before.
Was he? I thought he was 20. Is he before year before?
He was 2018. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because he played under Eli for a year.
Oh, you're right. Which is a weird time. God, he feels like he's been gone for so long.
Yep.
So long. But yeah, like there's a decent amount of defensive help that they could have got. And like, I don't know. Obviously, having TJ Hawkinson as your tight end would have been fucking fantastic. Look at him now with fucking Minnesota this year.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. Like
Like
there were so many other like skill positioned players that could have went, and they still could have gotten, Danny Jones later and not had to sacrifice the picks that they ended
Evo
up sacrificing.
Samuel was in that draft too. Yeah, AJ Brown was in that draft.
That's what I mean. Like even wideouts, we had wide receiver issues that year. Like
He came
hi,
in.
baby.
Was that draft?
Was he really? I mean, Jesus Christ! Like that's,
Deontay Johnson, Terry McLaurin.
I think we ended up with, and this was like a later pick, and we ended up with Slayton, who I don't dislike, but I mean, again, he's not the best option.
Gosh, no.
Solid. I mean, speed. Like an out route guy, like that's fine. But like, yeah, hands aren't there. I mean, they could have got a number of receivers, because that was the biggest issue at that point. They had no receiving core. You got Saquon the year before, so you had your running game. Build your fucking O-line and build your fucking receivers. Because at that point too, I think the defense was fairly solid that year. Or it was like the next year. I can't remember, but like they had been fairly solid, and you're like, okay, like these are things that make a ton of sense. Okay, great, we're doing things that. Okay, but no, we drafted a guy who everybody went, who? Like what? Like what are we doing? You had the 6th pick in the draft, and you picked that guy, and now again you paid that guy, lost Saquon because the GMs are fucking incompetent. Your front office is incompetent, and then now you don't have either of them on your team. So you didn't even stick with the guy you ended up fucking paying that you lost your best player for. Like, so that's when you're like, oh, I think the Giants could be good. No, I don't think they could be good this coming year. I mean, even they have to draft, right? Like, they need a quarterback. Are they going to go?
Two, right? So they're getting Shadur Sanders, I guess, would be the possibility.
That's what I'd like to see. Yeah. The other kid, where is he? I just had him up. So
there's Cam Ward, who might be going first. Oh no, you're picking third. So the quarterbacks are like Cam Ward, Shadur Sanders. If they both go first, then you're kind of fucked.
Well, they can't both go first.
Another one.
So.
Well, no, but you're third. So Tennessee could get a quarterback because Will Levis, and then Cleveland Browns might get a quarterback because.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Fuck. It's also crazy to me that they like. I can't believe we're going third. Yeah, I mean, ideally, I'd like it to be
last game.
Fucking stupid. But don't they have a worse record than both of those teams?
No, the Giants were 3-14. The Browns were 3-14, but their opponent's win record made them .536. And the Tennessee Titans were also 3-14, but they had again a better or a lower strength of schedule, so they got the tiebreaker. All you game of the season.
They can't even fucking lose right. Like, come on.
The best thing. But yeah, no, it's gonna be a very fucking interesting thing for them because, like, don't get me wrong, I could see possibly the Titans going, you know what, Will Levis had some good games, maybe we'll give him another shot, maybe we'll pick up Travis Hunter, or maybe they don't believe in Cam Ward or Shadur Sanders. There's another quarterback that Giants can reach, and I mean, like, fuck, when it comes to quarterbacks in the draft, how many times have we been like, oh, this is absolute dunk, and then
I'm looking at the draft buzz to see how they rated these players. So let's see.
This is
they have Travis Hunter first. Ashton Jonty second, Abdul Carter third.
I think they had.
I think they had
Or
Sanders and
is that
Cam
good?
Ward. Yeah, I think they have Sanders and Cam Ward rated 5th and 6th in terms of just overall best players of the draft. I'm in the. What the fuck just happened? Go away. I had a weird pop up.
Oh god, porn sites, not again.
Yeah, fuck this place. I don't see a quarterback. I'm on 36. Where's the next quarterback? They don't even have another quarterback rated in the top 50. There we go. Jackson Dart of Ole Miss is the next rated quarterback at 58.
That's
now,
close enough.
They're putting all the positions in there, right? Like, it's not just gunslinger with plus arm talent and the wheels to be a dual threat at the next level.
I see this one's got Dylan Gabriel from Oregon. Quick moving for fast release. He's a lefty quarterback.
Yeah, so
that'll be interesting. Or Jalen Milroe.
I'm cool with that. All right, so their prospect rank for quarterback. They have Sanders 1, Ward 2, right? Then they
can flip them, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're separated by like 0.4 points. Like, it's not even like it's I feel like either way, I don't think I'd be upset. I kind of want Sanders more just because his dad, but so you have Jackson Dart.
Yeah, but the moment something fucks up, he's gonna be.
Yeah. So Jackson Dart is ranked 3rd. Quinn Ewers from Texas is ranked 4th. Jalen Milroe from Alabama. Riley Leonard, Kyle McCord, Dylan Gabriel, Will Howard, and Curtis Rourke are your top 10 quarterbacks for the.
I know a lot of people are getting excited for Jalen Milroe after the Senior Bowl because he is that athlete, kind of like Lamar Jackson. But a lot of people are hating where he kind of holds the ball. He holds it low, so someone can just whack it right on out. And he's just like most of these dual threat quarterbacks, not accurate. They're consistently accurate. So
yeah. So it's tough because it's like, all right.
You never know.
No.
Maybe one of those teams will go with Travis Hunter because you know what? Again, Will Levis, maybe we'll give him one more shot. Or maybe the Browns draft him because while you want a quarterback, do you really want a quarterback in the same fucking room as Deshaun Watson? What's he going to teach him? The best place is to get a massage?
Yeah. That's
like.
And also, I mean, you made a commitment. You made a commitment to have him. I mean, now, they're not trading him away. Who's going to take him? The fact that they even took him was fucking crazy.
So here's the thing. I'm not I didn't want him. I have said multiple times, even we did the stream, I'm pretty sure last time, I said I wouldn't trade for him because I don't like the off-field fit. But I understand the last thing we saw was him having an almost MVP-like season. I just don't understand the fact that this man was injured, took off a whole year, and then you gave him that much of a fucking contract that was fully guaranteed.
Right.
Like,
it was a choice.
Just blame the Browns though, because everyone else is like, most teams are going. The Falcons were gunning for him, and shit. What's the other team? There was one other team that was heavily going for him. It wasn't Jacksonville. Was it the Dolphins? No. I'm trying to remember.
I don't remember.
It wasn't the Saints because they still had Drew Brees at the time, if I remember right. Maybe they did. Anyway, there's another team, and it wasn't just them. That's the. And I, in a way, I don't blame them. Just fully guaranteed.
Yeah, it's an odd choice.
And then they even did the first year that was only $1 million. That way, look, we know you're getting suspended because you did horrible things. So we're going to make sure you get as much of that money as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a choice. Yeah, so I mean, obviously, but dialing it back to the future of the Giants. I mean, let's say for instance both of those guys go 1-2. Both Cam Ward and Sanders go 1-2. Where do we go from there? Where do we need help? I mean,
with Hunter, that man would be great on both sides of the ball.
We could, yeah.
And then you're setting yourself up. Or Abdul Carter, get a very good edge rusher from Penn State.
And that's what I was thinking. I was thinking maybe another edge rusher. We don't necessarily need a running back. We'll give we'll give him another chance. Yeah. You go, okay. Do you go Mason Graham, defensive tackle?
If anything, if you're not going Abdul Carter, I'm going right to O-line. I'm going with another guard. Because I remember the left guard was the right guard was not that good. That O-line was
right guard, because Andrew Thomas was left guard. But he was hurt, so that was the only other problem. Like,
okay.
So then you go, okay, who do we have? We have offensive tackle. Okay, let's go. Hold on, let's go. Who's the first guard? Defensive. Wow.
Actually, I lied. Apparently, center, because you had to start second round center John Michael Schmitz. They were ranked number 32 last year. Out of fucking 32.
Yeah.
Ugh. So yeah, O-line. If not Abdul Carter, go O-line. I don't care who. Now again, you said Andrew Thomas, so not him, but still.
Yeah. God, so wow. Then, yeah, they don't have. So this ranking doesn't have an offensive guard position until 38th at Tyler Booker, from Alabama. So he was coached well. Because then, yeah, I don't know.
And John Runyon was good. So that wouldn't be the worst thing ever.
Yeah. And then they still have like corner. So yeah, I mean, you can do Travis Hunter, and then you still have Adoree Jackson. So Travis Hunter and Adoree Jackson would be a solid 2 corners to have.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
If you don't get I mean, obviously, still hoping for quarterback. Like that's because then what are your other options? Like that's you're gonna trade for one or sign up for okay, we're gonna pick up Aaron Rodgers. No, I don't want no.
Well,
think of who's available. You have Aaron Rodgers. No.
Yeah.
And that's if he can. Well, he does want to play.
Yeah.
Kirk
he
Cousins
just got released because nobody wants him.
No.
I wouldn't mind Cousins if you're able to get a quarterback in like second or third round you think could be your future, or even if it's just a stopgap. Because I do think he's going to be better after like a year removed from the ACL tear. I do think that's going to help because a lot of his power comes from those legs. He's not one of those guys that only throws with his upper body. So I do think a year removed will help. And I'm not saying he's the future. He's
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking like all right, we need somebody to throw the ball for the next year. I mean, at that point, just keep DeVito and like let him do it. Yes.
Well, they drew Lock in and they said that he was better, and that's what happens when you actually start a good quarterback, which is hilarious.
What is your problem?
The world may never know.
Just angry.
Russell Wilson's available, Justin Fields is available, and maybe Sam Darnold, who did have a great year. Now, you could say he had all those weapons and yada yada, but still, I don't know if I could put just any quarterback there and say, hey, do good.
I don't think Sam Darnold wants to go back to New York.
What are you going to tell me? He's seeing ghosts there, too?
Dude's going to get mono again, and it's going to be a whole fucking thing. Yeah, we don't need any of that.
Dutch. Zach Wilson's probably available.
Yeah, we don't need that either.
your moms.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get Mike White back in there, and we'll be all right. Now I'm trying to think like who else. Yeah, you could. Okay, Russell Wilson sounds great on in theory, but obviously, that didn't translate well this year.
He didn't have a bad season this year. He just ended up sucking at the absolute end. Say what you will, that could be a million things. Right. I want to just shit on him.
No, I'm not shitting on him. I'm just saying, like, it's not like he had a season that made me go, "Oh man, that sounds great. Like, let's do that."
Yeah. If it's not Sam Darnold for me, he'd be my number one. Which say whatever you want. I still think he's better than most. I think for me, I go to Justin Fields because I do think he's got the next highest upside.
Yeah, I would.
If I remember right, 25.
Yeah, I would feel bad for him going from one shitty situation to another. It would be less shitty than the Bears, but it would still be not a great situation. I don't think he's a bad player, but again, it's one of those like you get stuck in these predicaments of like things are obviously just not like the team's not set up for success.
Baker Mayfield?
No.
No. I'm saying like him.
Oh, yes.
He got shit on by the Browns because guess what? Deshaun Watson got sent to the Panthers, which, wow, he's not doing good. So obviously Baker sucks. This is why. Has that one great game with the Rams, goes to Tampa, and now it's like, actually, he's a good quarterback, guys. Like,
is Baker Mayfield like solid? Like,
dude, is it Panthers or right now where quarterbacks go to die? Like, that's sad.
Well, there's a couple of teams for that though. That's right. I mean, look at the Browns for the last fucking forever. Like
34 quarterbacks, if I remember right, since 1994, which is a crazy stat. That's crazy stats. And they had Baker. You could have just fucking kept him.
I mean, he did play well. The thing he was plagued by too was how many head coaches did he have in the first 4 seasons? I think he had 3 different head coaches.
Yeah.
So that doesn't bode
inconsistent offensive coordinators too. And God bless that kid. He led them from because he was there the year after they lost every game, turned it around, eventually got them to a playoff, beat the Steelers in the playoffs. Hey, and then he got injured. And then instead of being like, hey, you played through injury, I know your stats suck, but you played through it. Congratulations. We have Deshaun Watson, so he's obviously better than you, so go pound sand.
Right. And then, I mean, the only issue I ever had with Baker was them talking shit about the Giants when OBJ ended up on the Browns that year.
Oh, yeah.
And they were doing that weird, talking shit about the Giants for no fucking reason. I'm like, why? You guys aren't even division rivals. Why are you coming out of your face? Don't feed into the OBJ bullshit like that.
I think it was him trying to please OBJ because OBJ is one of those if he's not happy, obviously everybody fucking knows it.
Like a T.O. type of thing.
Like a T.O. or AJ Brown. And while we were able to win with him, that man, how many times this year has caused issues? And I do think he's getting better. That man fucking read a self-help book and it seems to be doing better. But
even that shit that he did during the Super Bowl. Yeah. And it's not the time. It's not the time for a tantrum, dude. It's not.
So, I mean, up fucking was it 10-0 at that point? And
yeah. I mean, listen, he turned it around and had a good game, but it's not the time for tantrums, dude. I don't know what you're trying to accomplish, man.
I was gonna say it was Sirianni was all right, just dial up a pass for him. We're gonna get him a TD. We're just gonna put this shit to rest. He's not gonna complain the rest of the game with a TD.
He better not. But it's still crazy to me. At least he's not. This is my quarterback, and we're not doing any of that. But that's
I had someone like online when we were talking about the fucking like I had made a comment, I'm so happy to see my Eagles go, and they're like, another bandwagon Eagles fan. I'm like, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear it. I had to watch them go through Todd Pinkston, Hank Baskett, Greg Lewis, fucking Jason Avant. I had to watch those shitty teams get fucking dragged along by the great coaching. I'll give him credit, Andy Reid, and a decently good quarterback in fucking Donovan McNabb. Like what are we talking about? I don't want to hear this shit at all. Fuck off.
Yeah.
I had to watch the Eagles play Javon Curse to have one good year and then get fucking hurt.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Anyway, that just pissed me off. I was like, don't ever call me a bandwagon fan, especially when it comes to the green. It's like, don't.
Well, that, and it's funny now because like teams that have been bad for so long, and not even that the Eagles were bad for so long. Yeah, I mean they weren't great, and I mean, but like they got to the Super Bowl in, was it 05?
04. 5 was the year, but 04 season.
Yeah.
1 year we had T.O.
Yes. Before that, all fucking deteriorated. But
hey,
like,
I'll give him credit. That man played the Super Bowl on a broken foot.
Yeah.
Not foot.
Ankle. This is a broken ankle.
Ankle?
Yeah.
Something below the hip.
Yeah. Somewhere in the leg region. No, and you know, and I like T.O. talent wise. But
he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. But they didn't go through, you know. No, I mean they had some really bad seasons in between that and 2018 for sure.
Plus Chip Kelly trading away everyone. Oh, LaShawn McCoy, get out of here! I want Kiko Alonso for you, boy. Deshaun Jackson, fuck off! You're probably getting like you just suck. Oh, Riley Cooper, let's sign you, boy.
Yeah. Drop another N-bomb. No. Yeah,
that's a whole fucking thing.
But I mean, dude, like the Chiefs for a long time were not good. So like the Chiefs now, you get a lot of bandwagon Chiefs fans. Trying to think of Seahawks, right? They were bad for so long and then started getting really good.
Patriots.
Huh?
I don't fucking hate them, but the Patriots sucked until Tom Brady, and then all of a sudden it was like, wow,
yeah, look at all these Patriots fans. And it's like, I hope that they have another 30 years of misery so that I could see if those same people who were like, oh, the Patriots, I can't wait to see them go to another team, like fan-wise. Like, it would make me so happy. Or I just want them to be miserable. That too. But that's besides the point. God,
you already beat them twice in a Super Bowl. You don't got to kill them anymore.
I'm just saying.
Okay, we both got to beat them in a Super Bowl. That's what matters.
Right. Felt great. I beat them twice. You beat them once. It's okay. But
do it a second time, just like the Chiefs. You got to lose once, and then we can beat them. We got to learn.
And it's funny to me that like people are fans. So we said before, like, how many Cowboys fans do you know never been to Texas in their life, right? Like, and it's funny to me. Oh, it's America's team, and I'm like, yeah, in the '90s, maybe like the mid '90s, and even then, like, a couple of years there, but like, how are you still a fan of that? Like, you can't really call them a bandwagon fan because how many fucking years of misery have they gone through? My favorite combination, and I do have a friend that is one of these people, and I shit on him for it as much as I can, who is a Cowboys and Yankees fan, because it's like, you are the definition of, oh yeah, I grew up in the '90s a little bit. Like, that's like, oh, okay, that's how you picked your teams. Got it. Who won this year? Okay. It's like all the Bulls fans that clearly don't root for the Bulls anymore. You know, like that kind of thing.
God, yeah.
I say this.
My favorite player.
I say this with the NBA, for example. Like, I am a Knicks fan, but I was a big fan of Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. Like, and I say like Scottie Pippen. I had the Pippen shoes when Pippen had his own shoes. I had a Pippen jersey, not a Michael Jordan jersey. I had Jordans, like I had, and the only Jordan jersey I had was the Space Jam one. You know what I mean? But like I had a Pippen jersey. Yeah, I had a Pippen jersey. Like I was a fan of both of those guys. Now, I mean, they creamed my fucking Knicks here and there, and then then I had to watch fucking Kobe and Shaq cream my Knicks in the finals, and fucking was it 99 or 2000? I don't remember which one, but
it was 2000.
But again, big fan of those two guys too. Like, I appreciate them, but like I'm not a Lakers fan. Just like I'm a fan of LeBron James, and if the Knicks aren't gonna win it, I hope for success for LeBron James. But like I'm not a Lakers fan because that's where I was never a Cavaliers fan. But I wanted him to beat the Warriors, like you know what I mean, like shit like that. Like I didn't want to fucking like
they went 73-9. Oh, fuck off.
Yeah, fuck you. Oh yeah, you were the best team in basketball last year, and you got KD. Like yeah, go fuck off. Like that's...
There's another bandwagon one. How many people are Warriors fans? And you're like, yeah, since when? Like, did you like Baron Davis, or are we just here now because hey, Steph's good? Like,
right? Yeah.
Were we watching Run DMC back in the day, or?
Right? You guys are so full of shit. Like, but like basketball is the only one where it's like you're a fan of that player, and so like you'll get their jersey more. So like, I'm a fan of Aaron Judge. I'm not buying a fucking Yankees jersey. You know what I mean? Like, but I had a Penny Hardaway jersey. I'm not a Magic fan. I had a Pippen jersey.
I've had a very long and great career.
It's a shame. I don't have one, but I would buy a Kobe jersey, but I'm not you know what I mean, like that kind of thing.
Basketball's weird.
Although I have,
because they sell the players.
I have a couple. Like I've had football jerseys of like teams I wasn't a big fan of. I have a Marshall Faulk jersey. I'm not a Rams fan.
Damn it. Just so clean with it though.
Yeah, I had a Ricky Williams jersey. I'm not a Dolphins fan. It's actually a really cool jersey. The one side was the like tealish green, and then the back half was the green, and then the front half was like that bluish color. It was a cool jersey. I liked it.
They're sexy. Yeah. They're sexy.
I didn't know they had like it's not an official jersey, I don't think, but it was like a specialty jersey that you could buy. Like I don't think they ever wore them on the field.
That was like I love the camo jerseys they have, like that drab green that they have, or drab like that's sexy as shit to me. And I was like, that was almost what I bought. But I just love the Eagles in the midnight black.
I do. I like I like their black jerseys. I almost bought a TO jersey, the black like that style TO jersey.
It's so sexy.
I did have, and I'm so mad I don't have it. I had a fucking Raiders Randy Moss jersey.
That's showing true respect to the GOAT.
Randy Moss jersey.
He just wanted to be just like Jerry Rice, so he went to the Raiders too.
That's absolutely, yeah.
That's why he's got as many rings as Rice.
Yeah.
Oh wait.
Yeah. But
that's a sad one.
Yeah, but like with baseball, other than Ken Griffey, like I don't have another team's jersey. I have a Cincinnati Reds Ken Griffey jersey. Like that's it.
Would you get like Mike Trout or? Because he's just GOAT.
I would consider it because like GOAT. No, but I would consider it because like, I don't have any like the Angels don't like I don't have an issue with the Angels. You know what I mean? Like. I like Bryce Harper. I'm not buying a Phillies jersey. I like Ronald Acuna Jr. I'm not buying a Braves jersey. Like, you know what I mean? Like shit like that. Like, I'm not buying. Like I said, I'm not buying an Aaron Judge jersey. I have 1, 2. Oh fuck. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 Mets jerseys.
What are you, a Mets fan or something?
Yeah, something like that. I got one there. That's my Lindor jersey. I have I have a Jacob deGrom jersey. That's clearly gonna get a ton of use. I wasn't sure how it was gonna go up until last week, but I have a Pete Alonso jersey.
I honestly wasn't sure, especially since Steve Cohen came out and talked all that shit, and I'm like, bro,
it wasn't
that
even
was crazy.
I didn't even think it was talking shit so much as like, dude, how did I have a better time dealing with Soto than I did with Alonso? Like that's insane to me. And then I have a David Wright jersey, and I have an Edgardo Alfonso jersey.
Respect. I only own Eagles jerseys. The only thing I care about. Like I like other teams. I'll support my Yanks. I'll support my Red Wings or my Thunder, the Pistons, because nice basketball's weird for me. But like, only one I like. I cried. That's it.
I got
Yankees won a World Series. I'm like, hey, good job.
I gotta tell you, I have almost bought a Giants jersey multiple times, and I've never like same thing with basketball. I'm like never 100% sure whose jersey I want to buy because then I'm like, I'm gonna buy their jersey and they're not gonna be there. Like I almost bought a Melo jersey for the Knicks, and he was there for a decent amount of time, so like it wouldn't have been a bad investment. But like I said to you before we started recording, I almost bought a Saquon Giants jersey like 2 years ago, and I'm glad I didn't because obviously the way I'm not, I have no reason to fucking wear it. It's just gonna collect dust at this point. I was gonna buy an Eli jersey once upon a time. I don't think that would have been a bad investment at that point, especially because they had.
I'd still have done it.
I might still do it. But like right now, I can't think of somebody's like whose jersey am I going to buy right now? Nobody's. I'm not buying a neighbor's jersey. I'm not buying like, Dexter Lawrence jersey. Yeah, I'm not buying none of that.
Unless you're buying like a classic, I completely understand. It's just I had to get Saquon. One, they won. 2000 like has the most yards in a season. Amazing, got it. But same thing. What happened to you happened to me. Just I guess somehow in a good way. I bought a Nick Foles jersey right before he got traded to the Rams because he had that 7 touchdown game, and I'm like, bro, what quarterback? Come on, he has like tied the record most touchdown passes in the game. Let's go! And all of a sudden he's traded. Like, fuck, man, fuck. But he won a Super Bowl, so guess what? I got a big Nick jersey that no matter what I can wear, and everyone will be like, "That's our QB. That man did it."
He won you guys the Super Bowl. Yeah.
That's the best part, though, is that like all those people bought a Wentz jersey. Nobody gives a fuck about Wentz, even though he was also on that team.
Yeah, but he was hurt, so I mean, who,
All right, but people own Doug Flutie jerseys, and no one's like, I don't like that man. They just go, oh, well, he had a good season. He got hurt. Tom Brady came in and ended up better, but hey, he's good. No.
Yeah, but
the problem is
they went back to Carson Wentz, and then he continued to shit the bed. Like he was good, and then because I was like, wow, yeah, Carson Wentz is pretty solid, and then ever since he got hurt, and then it was just like, nope. Shit the bed, and you're like, oh, okay.
I don't know if I sent it to you. Actually, the Carson Wentz trade to Indianapolis partially made this team, like, which is the craziest part about it. Let me see if I can pull it up. Like, just double check on my phone, because it was crazy how fucking different this team would have been if that didn't happen. Because that trade got us Jalen Carter. That trade also got us a couple others, and it's just like, you gotta be kidding me that we had this man on our team all because of this shit. Like, no fucking way.
Yeah.
I can't see it. Yeah, I don't see it.
No way.
Yeah, here we go. Probably pull up the article. So it led us to getting Devontae Smith. It led us getting Jalen Carter. It led us to getting Jordan Davis. Oh, and AJ Brown. Because of the picks and everything.
Right, solid.
Like, the Eagles don't win a Super Bowl if we don't just drop Wentz like it's hot.
Yeah. It's a shame we
That's
didn't
fucking
trade
crazy.
Daniel Jones and we just fucking offed him for nothing. We just said, all right, you want to release? Here you go. We didn't even fucking trade him. We got nothing out of it. Huh?
Like, mid-season too. Like, that's crazy.
And he asked for it. Like, that's the part that cracks me up. It's like, he asked for a release. And I'm like, bro, we just paid you. Like, what the fuck?
I think it's because they benched him and he's like, bro, I don't want to be a $40 million backup. Like,
then play like you fucking deserve $40 million, motherfucker. Like,
that's above my pay grade there, boss man.
Fuck me, dude. I never want to hear that shit. Fuck you. Like, that's... I don't care, man. But, all right.
It's whatever. It's crazy, but hey. We got it.
Yeah.
And that was going to be the other thing, though, is like, me personally, I don't know if I'm that sad as a Giants watcher about losing Saquon, because while like you did lose him for nothing, and that's something I could say, that's always sad, but would he have really helped the Giants this year? He's getting up there in age, and while he can still be great on a great team, if you're rebuilding, that $12.5 million could have been spent anywhere else.
Sure,
It
but
could be spent.
They're obviously worse without him. So you can put together a better team and he makes your team better. Clearly, as you have seen, he makes your team better. They have a different running back who's not nearly as good as him. They're not they don't have the run game and the success that they have.
No, I mean, when the Eagles went to the Super Bowl 3 years ago, we had Miles Sanders and Kenneth Gainwell, and it was not that good of a not the same team, and like
right. And so
true.
Okay, but he didn't have a tremendous Super Bowl game, but they don't get there without him.
Even then, if it wasn't for him in the box, if it wasn't him changing things, no, that's not happening.
That's what I mean.
He's not getting anywhere.
That team. Now, I'm not saying he's the only reason. Obviously, they have a good team. The Eagles have a good team, but Jalen Hurts doesn't pass for high yardage. You know what I mean? Like, he's not passing for 300, 400 yards a game. He's not passing for, hell, sometimes he's not even passing for 250 yards a game. Because
that's its own thing.
They're right, but they can get away with it right now because they have a running back who, well, I mean, as we stated earlier, has the most rushing yards total for the season. Like,
that's crazy. That's an amazing thing to say.
Like, it's insane. Yeah, it's amazing for me to watch the guy that was just on my team go break a record on somebody else's team in the same division. It's my favorite thing.
I get it. Here's the thing: is like if you grab Derrick Henry or whatever, like he'd make your team better, but is he really moving the needle enough that you're like, I don't know. You end up in that weird spot, and that's kind of the problem that I have. Is like a lot of people paying these quarterbacks millions of dollars if you're not like a top 5, top 6 quarterback. Like if you're not moving the needle to make me a winning team, I don't know if I want to sink that much money into you, because then I'm making my team worse. Right. And then I'm just going to be stuck in hell constantly drafting like 20, maybe 24th like a year. Shoot, maybe one year we have a great run 28th, but I'm always going to be meh. And maybe that's still good enough to sell tickets, but like,
well, this is,
I mean, look at the Cowboys. They sink how much into.
We can branch this into a conversation in general about sports contracts and how much more ridiculous they got. I do think
baseball contracts,
and that's what I was going to transition to. I don't think teams need a cap, but I think contracts need a cap. I don't think we should be paying people more than X amount. Now, if you can afford to have that many people like that, I don't mind. And I'm not saying that now because I have the richest, like my team has the richest owner in baseball. I never had that issue because, I mean, not counting the Dodgers this year, most of the teams that have won haven't had the big, tremendous fucking payrolls, right? Like, okay, the Yankees have had one of the, if not the highest payroll in baseball for the last 10 or so years. When was the last time they won a World Series?
I was pretty sure it was 90s.
But I'm saying, like, just in general, like, I mean, in years they haven't won, right? They haven't won in 15 years. Yeah.
2007 was the last time they won.
2009 was the last time they won.
Oh, 9, my bad.
So, yeah, 15 years. They haven't won a World Series in 15 years. In the last 15 years, how many times have they been at least in the top 3 for payroll? Almost every year. But they haven't won. Okay, the Mets for the last 3 seasons have had the highest payroll in baseball and haven't won, right? So, like, it's not necessarily a matter of, like, oh, well, they're all paying to win. Now, again, the Dodgers doing all of this fucking... The Dodgers doing all of this fucking deferred money and shit is a little, you know, hey, we don't have to pay all of you now. Like, it's crazy to me. I mean, listen, you have people that are accepting it. I mean, you know, fucking Shohei Ohtani's taking $2 million a year on a $700 million contract. Like, but that's insane, right? So, like, I think A-Rod's contract should have been the cap, right? Like $25 million a year. We shouldn't be going higher than that. Like, because then there's no, like, okay, now you're going to go to the team that you want to go to, that you think is going to bring you the success that you want. Then we see from there, now everybody's on a more even, like, you know, NBA has like you can't get paid more than this, right? Like your Supermax contract. Now they have, you know, like a cap, like a salary cap type of thing. I don't think that...
Weird, but yeah.
I don't think baseball needs a salary cap other than like team-wise. I think it's because we're getting to the point where, and listen, my team is responsible for a lot of those contracts right now, right? The fucking Max Scherzer contract, that went nowhere. The Justin Verlander contract, that went fucking nowhere. And right now with the Juan Soto contract, like, it's a lot. It's a lot of fucking money. And you're like, okay, I got a guy getting paid $34 million a year in Lindor. I got Pete getting paid 30, right? So here. And then fucking Soto getting paid, what was the average? Like fucking... Like,
that was 49?
40, yeah, like almost 50 a year. And like even Judges getting paid like 40, 41 a year. Like,
yeah.
And it's like, guys, what are we doing? We were all blown away that A-Rod was getting 25 a year. Hi, baby. Hi. Oh, yeah, it is. It is that time.
It is.
It's their dinner time. Hello, beautiful.
There you know.
Hi, baby. What's up, gorgeous girl? So, yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, we can transition that to the baseball conversation. The offseason has been interesting. You know, I am happy that the Mets got Juan Soto. It's not my money, so like, I can't tell other people how to spend their money.
Whatever.
But like one dude getting paid $50 million a year, and I mean, you know, if you're talking about non-deferred money, Shohei Ohtani making $70 million a year on average for a 10-year contract, $700 million, like, it's pretty fucking crazy. Now, again, I'm super thrilled that the Mets got Juan Soto. I'm happy that they re-signed Pete Alonso.
True.
And even like on the smaller scale, like I'm happy they re-signed Sean Manaea.
They stole Clay Holmes.
They signed Clay Holmes, but they're going to use him as a starter, I guess, which is an odd choice.
Go for it.
We'll kind of see how that goes. I mean, they have some questions in the rotation. They don't have as many questions in the bullpen.
No.
You have...
Let's see. They also got Frankie Montas and Griffin Canning.
Right. Two of which are very, like, questionable. Like, not questionable, but, like, they're not really, like, they're good guys to have, but I think, you know, Sean Manaea, who had a really great year last year, especially towards, like, the second half And I don't know if you know like what he did differently. It was like the silliest thing. Do you
What do you
know?
do?
He
No.
watched Chris Sale footage and started stepping a little further, like away from the mound, and so he would come at a different angle. And so just the angle, like he didn't do it, like he didn't develop a new pitch. He wasn't throwing harder. He wasn't doing any of that stuff. All he did was change the angle in which the ball was coming to the plate, and immediate success, which is awesome.
When it comes down to those things, it's goofy what little changes or little adjustments can do.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a great, great change to make. David Peterson, who wasn't even on the roster for most of the year. I mean, he wasn't on the major league roster for most of the year. Was our best pitcher in the playoffs. So, I mean, I think he deserves a spot in that rotation. Kodai Senga was hurt all year. You good?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, now you figure out, okay, can Frankie Montas do something? I mean, I hope he doesn't look like he looked on the Yankees. Let's go there. I don't want that. Clay Holmes, is he gonna be a good starter? I mean, at least we know he's a good reliever. So if he just can't do the conditioning or whatever the issue is, or maybe he's mental part of it. Like, I'm so used to coming out of the bullpen and starting a game. Like, some people just thrive better in different positions. So I mean, I'm happy for my team. I joke that this year has been terrible for me for sports, but honestly, I mean, I didn't think my team was going anywhere, and we made it. We were 2 wins away from the World Series this year. Well, this past year. So, like, it's insane to me. Now, this is where I'm going to give the Yankees some credit. They did lose Juan Soto, but they still tried for him. So it's not like they just kind of shit the bed and like didn't offer him a contract.
Did you see what was like one of the reasons that he chose the Mets? And I think it's the dumbest thing ever. I guess I get it, but
there was a couple of them, but
the one that was bubbling up was the box seats.
Yeah, that's a little silly to me, but I guess he had some sort of issue at some point in the year.
He didn't want to pay for it.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was, but like I guess security was like weird with his family at one point during the season, like that kind of soured him and some shit. I think
it was so goofy that I saw that I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I understand, and you know what? I think you could just ask for more money from the Yanks, but if that's part of it, and you kind of just want to be able to say like, they gave me a seat along with the other things, like I kind of get it, but I was like, that's so stupid that was the thing.
I think she has to go on.
We'll probably wrap it up in a second then.
She's farting up a storm over here.
You're screwed. You're fucking doomed.
And she wants her food.
All right.
But
we'll go through the Yanks then.
So yeah, listen, they lost Juan Soto, but honestly they made a ton of moves. Now, I will say I think they overpaid for Max Fried. Now, I think the Mets obviously overpaid. Whoever got Juan Soto was overpaying for Juan Soto. But I do think the Yankees overpaid for Max Fried. I don't think he's a bad pitcher, but he hasn't consistently been healthy. Hi, baby. All right, I know.
I think because it's an 8-year contract, that's kind of what makes it a little easier.
It's an 8-year contract at like I think it's like 32 a year or something, like whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's not a bad pitcher, but I don't know. An 8-year contract for a guy who hasn't been consistently healthy is rough for me.
Max Fried could push it over. Like, I understand if you're gonna spend the money, you might want someone who's healthier, but he's at least someone who can move that needle.
Sure, but and they've made other moves. They have Paul Goldschmidt. Yes. They have Cody Bellinger. I don't have the
Devin
list.
Williams.
They got Devin Williams.
And Fernando Cruz.
Gave up that home run to Pete
The
Alonso
catcher.
to get their fucking no, but
You're welcome.
no, but I mean, but Devin Williams is, you know, he's like a 1A, 1B. When Edwin Diaz is healthy and on point, him and Devin Williams are the two best closers in baseball. So this past year, Devin Williams was probably, arguably, the best closer in baseball because Edwin Diaz had a bad year. So, like, okay. So they made a bunch of moves to offset losing that guy, which is solid. And I do think it's funny that, you know, Yankees fans being the little bitches that they are, and I'm not saying you specifically, but like, I mean, Juan Soto wasn't even really a good player, so like we didn't lose anything good. And I'm like, bro, he was one of the best hitters on your team all year, consistently all year.
Yeah.
And he was clutch.
Yeah.
Like, don't do that. Listen. Just because you didn't get the guy. Oh, he's a traitor, bro. He was on your team for 1 year. He's not a traitor. The fucking contract ran out and he signed with a different team. He didn't like tell them I'm definitely signing with you and then signed elsewhere.
Yeah, Noah, he didn't pull a Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, Noah Syndergaard for the Mets, you fuck. Like,
listen, there's two ways I think he's a traitor. All right, we'll wrap it up, I guess, on this one. There's two ways I would have said he was a traitor if he would have actually said he was going to stay, or if he was with the Yanks for more than a year. Like, if he was here a couple of years,
right,
we got to the World Series.
He was on the team for 1 year.
We knew he was a rental and hoped that it was going to be a thing.
It's not like you made Aaron Judge your captain the last year of his contract. He told you guys he was going to re-sign and then signed with the Giants. Like, that would have been like, wow, that's a dickhead move, bro. Like, you know, whatever. But even then, like, guys, he just went to another team. And you only got him via trade. It's not like he signed the 1-year contract with you guys. You traded for him. And then he went to another team. That's why I laugh. Like, that's why I laugh about, like, entitled Yankees fans. And it's like, I understand that, like, some of you weren't around or, like, could appreciate those wins in the 90s and the early, you know, the late 90s, early 2000s. Like, I get it. But, like, your team does not know that they've only missed the playoffs once in the last, like, fucking 30 years. Like, I don't want to hear shit about how terrible your team is. Yeah, 2014, I think, was, like, the last time they missed the playoffs.
That was twice. I thought, maybe not, though. You're right. I think so.
They haven't had a sub-500 record since the early 90s. They haven't missed the playoffs other than 2014 since the early 90s. Like, you guys don't know. You don't have 100 loss. You've never experienced a fucking 75, 80 loss, 90, 100 loss team in your fucking existence. Shut up. And then I laugh because it's like, I saw some people. I was laughing. This one tweet stuck out to me, and I cracked up, and it was like, yeah, I'm not a Yankees fan, but my grandfather is 92, and, like, I'd like to see him see one more Yankees World Series win. And it's like, he's seen enough. Fuck him. Like, that's...
That's a nice sentiment, but yeah, all right.
But fuck you. Like, they've won all of their rings in your lifetime, you fuck. I don't care. Like,
You've seen like 24 of them. That's a decent amount of wins.
Shut up. Like, that's
like me being a Red Wings fan, and everyone thinks that, like, I've seen them all, and I'm like, brother, at least that since I've been a fan, they ain't won shit. So, like,
right. Like, go away. Go away. I've watched my team be the worst team of the 90s. I watched my team be a terrible team prior to 2006. In between 2000 and 2006, they were not good. After 2006, they missed the playoffs 2 years in a row by 1 game, and then they were terrible for years until 2015 when they made the playoffs, got into the World Series. Lost the World Series, got to the playoffs the next year, lost in the wild card, and then didn't make the playoffs for 5 fucking years. Like, that. 6 years. Like, I don't care. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear shit about how hard Yankees fans have it. Eat a dick, bro. Eat a dick. Go talk about your 27 rings. I don't care. Like, go away.
You want one of the 27 rings?
No, I'm just tired of hearing it. I'm just, we've won more than anybody. That's great. When's the last time you won? Shut up. I don't want to hear it. But then, like, you can't turn around, say 27 rings, and then be like, oh, man, they got to fire Aaron Boone, bro. Like, oh, my God, can you believe it? We didn't win the World Series. Bro, you got to it. Fuck off. Like,
only the Mets had gotten to it.
yeah, then we would have won, and I would have been great. I haven't experienced one in my lifetime. Same thing with the Knicks. The Knicks haven't won a fucking NBA championship since I've been alive. I'm hungry, dude. I need these championships. Like, I need it.
You have the Giants. What are you talking about?
Oh, God. I don't want to talk. Like, it's been so long. At least, like, okay, the Eagles, you know, I was happy for my father-in-law. My father-in-law is a big Eagles fan. He's 66 years old. So they just won this year and then 2018. So prior to that, they had never won a fucking Super Bowl. So, like, hey, you know what? You beat the fucking Patriots and you got to experience your first Super Bowl win of your team ever. I hope I'm not 66 by the time the Mets win their first World Series since I've been alive. But here we are. You know,
it's getting closer.
I'm getting there every so often. I mean, it's been almost 40 years. So, like, we're struggling, dude.
We're getting there.
Yeah, they need to win.
We'll do a speed round then, just to kind of end it, so we can knock everything else out.
Sure.
I guess we'll switch back to football real quick, and then we'll do basketball because I don't think we touched that pretty much at all.
No.
Football. Is the Chiefs dynasty dead?
No.
All right.
No, I mean they're still
an Andy Reid for me.
They're still a solid team. Patrick Mahomes is still a really, really tremendous quarterback. I mean, probably still. I mean, despite the refs help him win and blah blah blah, and he's still probably arguably the best quarterback in the league. I don't think. I think that's obnoxious. I mean, they have really good players. Now, I mean, if they
Kelsey's getting older though.
Sure. So maybe they draft some better receiving options,
and help the O-line.
Help the O-line, right? So I mean, everybody needs something. I just think it's silly to be like, the Chiefs are done for. Like they're never gonna. No, they're still gonna be a fucking formidable team.
Patriots went a decade without winning a Super Bowl, but they just kept winning. I think that's gonna be the Chiefs. I don't think they're gonna be able to just kind of zap right back to a Super Bowl, can like win it. I think it's probably going to take some time to reload, but
I hope they don't.
Mahomes,
I hope they don't. Like I said, I would have hoped, even this year, I would have hoped it would have been the Bills, over the Chiefs. Like I said, they were my playoff team. Once I knew, my team wasn't making it, so the Chiefs were the Bills were my playoff team, and it didn't amount to anything. But I mean, you still have formidable teams in there, but I don't think the Chiefs are done for. They might not win next year or the year after, but I don't think they're gonna be like a fucking sub 500 team or anything like that. Not anytime soon, at least.
And then two, I'm not gonna say that the Eagles will be a dynasty. Too much to go, but this was something I was kind of thinking of. I'm not sure your opinion on. Are the Eagles technically a dynasty in the fact that for the last 8 years they've been in the playoffs how many times, been to the NFC Championship how many times, won 2 Super Bowls in 7 years, been to 3? Is that a dynasty?
No, I think you have to win.
You have to win one more?
I think they have to win to be a dynasty. I think the Chiefs have won
in 7 years.
The Chiefs have won 3 Super Bowls in the last like 5 years.
5 years.
So that to me is enough time. The Yankees winning, they won 4 in 5 years. That's a dynasty to me, right? Like, even if they didn't win in 96, they won in 98, 99, 2000. To me, that's a dynasty.
So then, the Eagles win next year, we'll call it, but other than that.
Yeah, they made it to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. They won this year. They make it. If they win another Super Bowl, we can have that conversation for sure. I don't see
2 Super Bowl wins in 7 years. The third Super Bowl.
No, I think it's too much.
It seems like that weird spot.
I think it's too much time apart. Right? Okay. Like, you could say the same thing. Like, okay, so were the Giants a dynasty? They won in the 07 and
11.
11. So it's like 4 years apart, 5 years apart,
They
whatever
didn't
it
do
was.
anything in between. They weren't like dominating.
Right,
They
but that's
won
what I
those
mean.
2 years wild card, and then it was just kind of like.
So yeah, it's not a. I think more things need to happen, and they need at least 2, not necessarily consecutive, but their last Super Bowl win was
7 years ago.
7 years ago, right? So it's like it's they're not there yet.
Okay. Before we hop over, is Howie Roseman the best GM in the league? Because if we go back, how many years? 7 years ago, that's pretty much a whole different team, different coach, different OC, different DC. Everyone's gone. This entire time they've been building, Eagles have constantly been a good team. 2 years ago, even just 2 years ago, we have a whole different team from now and then. And this is also the only team, or one of only 3 teams to win a Super Bowl in like this amount of time with 2 different quarterbacks, which was the 49ers when they went from Joe Montana to Steve Young.
Yeah.
And with the Raiders going from Ken Stabler, Jim Plunkett. Like that's pretty fucking good. I don't know how many GMs you could say are better than that.
No, I mean, it's hard to argue against it, right? Like, who else is making the kind of moves he's making to have a turnaround like that and still have success? Like, it's, I think I'd have to dive deeper into. I mean, I can tell you who the worst GM is, but that's besides the point. Like, that's I can't.
Of the Browns, because
Well, yeah. To be fair, but yes, yeah, I it's hard to argue against it.
I was gonna say the only other one I could say would be like Clark if you wanted to, because obviously with the the whole Chiefs, that's their GM, or I can't remember him, but the one for the Rams, Mr. Fuck those picks, just because he was able to squeeze out a Super Bowl pretty much kind of out of nowhere with that team.
Yeah.
And then rebuild it, because now even though we were like, well, they traded those picks away, they'll be shit, and all of a sudden they're still a good team.
Yeah,
like,
they're still
fucking
solid.
how?
Yeah.
What are we talking about? And then the last thing we'll kind of step on the NBA, I think. Fucking the trade season was crazy. Luka moves because apparently he's fat and injury prone, and then they get Anthony Davis, and then he's injured and out a couple of weeks immediately.
Yeah, they traded a guy who was out of shape and injury prone for a guy who's injury prone. Like, come on, man. What are we talking about? You cheated.
6 years older.
You fucked him out of millions of dollars because you didn't want to pay him a supermax. Just be honest about it.
Well, and that's the thing, is they're like, well, we're afraid of him leaving. I'm like, first of all, who's ever turned down a supermax? After that, usually they sign that shit, and then if they're angry, they'll leave in like 2 years.
Right, but then
which fine, you can be pissed, but then you're trading him.
But then you traded him for I like Anthony Davis, but you traded him for a guy who's not consistently healthy. Like that. Come on, man. What are we talking about? Like,
that's a dumb thing.
You're full of shit.
Dude, and the worst thing is, like, then the other part owner was talking about it, and he's like, oh, well, they're talking about all these players that, like, that trained hard. We go to Michael Jordan. I'm like, that man was a gambling addict and was constantly out doing things and drinking.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Come on, man. What are we talking about?
Like, I remember his early years of Kobe Bryant having those off the court problems.
Yeah.
Shaquille O'Neal famously couldn't fucking stop eating and literally missed time, like had surgery in the middle of a season because he's like, I wasn't going to get it in the off season. I should get paid for this.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
I mean, they should really follow the lead of, known super athlete Babe Ruth, who was clearly the most in shape guy of all time and wasn't drinking beers and eating hot dogs like mid game and shit. Yeah, no, it's all nonsense to me. But yeah, it was a crazy trade. I guess one of the Lakers trades didn't go through.
Rescinded. Yeah, Marcus Williams, because he was injured, and so they're like, we're not gonna pass physical. Yeah. So we'll see about that one. I mean, apparently Charlotte's trying to sue to get it to still go through.
That's crazy.
Then maybe weird. But like, yeah. De'Aaron Fox went from Sacramento down to the Spurs. So God, the Spurs are doing such a great job building around Wemby.
Yes.
God, could you imagine if Wemby was like, in New York? Like everyone thought originally he could get drafted?
Yeah.
Because a lottery pick that year, too.
I'm okay with, for the most part, the team that I have right now with the Knicks. We got Cat, and I was super pumped about that. Now we just need that other kid in Minnesota, and we'll be good. Yeah, it'll be all right. We just need to get ourselves some.
You guys want to just add Anthony Edwards in here?
If we could just sneak him in there, little Anthony Edwards, little baby MJ, we'll be okay. Uh,
I feel weird now going back and I mean, how long ago was it? Like a decade ago? I was like, I don't know, man. I think I take Cat over Anthony Edwards. And then all of a sudden I look like an idiot because Anthony Davis won a ring and Ant didn't. And now Ant's doing great, or sorry, Cat's doing great in fucking New York. And it's like, maybe I was right.
I was so pumped about having Cat. Like, I know the initial reactions was like, oh, I don't know. No, fuck that. Julius, you can, oh, Julius Randle, yeah, but you know what? He was so inconsistent for us, and I didn't hate Julius Randle. I'm not gonna shit on him, but he was inconsistent for us. Who was the other guy? Ah, shit. DiVincenzo. That one, yeah. I was more upset about DiVincenzo than I was Julius Randle.
Agree.
So yeah,
that makes sense. It's I mean, this trade season has been that's fucking crazy. Yeah. And the Thunder still have 1 million picks, and I just get to watch my team do good with 1 million picks. So like, if anything ever happens, they can just
there you go.
Look, sometimes it's good to be a fan of the worst team at one point, and now they're fucking sure as shit ain't.
That's what I'm gonna tell myself about being a Giants fan.
Look, all it takes is a couple of good trades or picks. Like I said, look at the Commanders. Last year, they were worse than the NFC East.
Yeah. And they looked good. Yeah. They were in the playoffs, so.
2 years ago, let's talk about the Texans. Ah, man, look at them. They got rid of Deshaun Watson. They're such a trash team, yada, yada.
But
boom,
CJ Stroud, yeah. It's crazy to me how, like, one player can really affect. Now, it's not just one player, but, like, how one solid player can really affect
one player, one good coach. That's all they've done so far.
We have one of those. We just need the other one of those.
We think you have one of those. We do. We both believe Brian Daboll. But
I do. Yeah.
I truly. I mean, he made for at least a little bit. Made Danny Nichols look like a good quarterback.
Yeah, he did though. He really did, and I was like, okay, like I'm starting to believe. And then of course, that was my mistake. But hey.
Listen, I think the problem is that you can only do so much with like a B- to a C player and not have the talent. Like, I don't think that 49ers quarterback, my brain died. What's his name?
Brock Purdy.
Okay. Purdy, there we go. Like, I don't think he is a B+ quarterback. I think he's like maybe 15th to 20th best quarterback, but you put them weapons around him.
Well, yeah.
Like, yeah, he's going to be good. And that's great. That's how the 49ers have been doing as good as they have. They just draft well and have all those weapons. Go to the Giants. They've drafted all right, but they're not stacked.
Well, they've drafted all right, and they just haven't turned it into anything. And they haven't kept, again, Xavier McKinney. And like, how many people have they drafted in the last 10 years 5 years that are still on the team? Like, not much. Other than the most recent draftees, and
but, yeah. I mean, fingers crossed. Maybe that they'll kind of start actually keeping their players.
Well, this cap space bullshit, I don't want to hear it anymore. Like, I don't.
That's the craziest part, though. Is like, so I love the cap space because other than the Chiefs, which have somehow been able to do it, the parity in the NFL is my favorite thing. Because look how often people are switching. Like, it's keeping it so much tighter, so much more fair for the most part. Granted,
that's not my
concern.
Down to quarterbacks. Yeah, that's not my problem with it. It's, again, we wasted cap space on a guy that you shouldn't have paid him what you paid him, and then that's the reason they lost Saquon. That's the reason they lost Xavier McKinney. That's the reason they lost, like, all of the people that have left that team in the last 2 years, 2 to 3 years. It's all been, cap space. We got to cut. They cut, who'd they cut? They cut, like, Eli Apple. They cut, like, a whole bunch of, like, defensive backs and safeties and fucking linebacker. Like, you cut all of these people for cap space, and then you didn't make up for it. So that's.
He's still gonna have dead money next year too, if I remember. I think he still counts for like 15 million against the cap just because you cut him.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid.
Look, if the Denver Broncos can do it, because again, a couple of years ago was Russell Wilson not doing so hot, got rid of him, bunch of dead money. You can't have fucking anybody on the team,
right? But
they draft a good quarterback. You got a good coach. They're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
There's always a way. You just need to figure it the fuck out. Someone tell the Browns.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to. But on that note, thank you for joining me.
Yes.
Alas.
Yes. Sorry, I'm just double
Dealing
checking.
with it. Yeah, that's why I said we'll do that speed round. We'll get it out of the way.
Yes.
But thank you for joining me. Hope you have a wonderful night. Hopefully we can do this again sometime soon.
Absolutely. Adios.
Adios.